Hello, am I sideways now? Is it working now? I got on earlier and I was told I was sideways, but I had set everything up for a landscape thinking that would be the better shot. And now I have to readjust everything because that's not working. Hello, Lisa. Pardon the technical difficulties. I didn't realize I had the camera in the completely wrong way. So we'll figure it out. Okay. As I was saying in my before the video started video, I have these notes and I'm really hoping to try to stick to them, and I'm really hoping to try to stay within a good time frame. I really don't want this to be a here are the oils in the starter kit, because you can get online and you can read what oils are in the starter kit, right? Like that's, to me, that's not a 101 class. A 101 class is what are essential oils, why are they important, some history, that type of thing, because you really need to know that to understand essential oils and understand the background and the why. You know, I'm a very history driven type person, and I like knowing all of that. It gives me confidence in my product when I know what's going on behind it and I can understand a little more about it. So this is my attempt at this class, so bear with me. I am Jessica Jarrett, and I am an executive leader with Young Living Essential Oils. I am a mom, I am a wife, I am a little bit of a brainiac, I love research, I love history. My husband affectionately calls me Dada because I either have a fact or a song to go along with almost anything you can tell me. Even if I don't know a lot about it, I know just enough to be dangerous, right? But I started with Young Living about 5 years ago when I was pregnant with my first child. 6 years ago, I guess. He's 5. And all it took for me was just that first exposure, because I was having some seasonal allergy issues. And if you've ever been pregnant, you know that when you have these allergy issues and you're pregnant, there's just not a lot you can do about it. And I went to my mom's house. My mom had just started with Young Living as well, my sister, and they were like, love this. This is awesome. You should try this. And they applied some product to me, and I felt so much better that I bought my kit like within an hour, okay? I was just thrilled to have found something that I could use for my seasonal allergies. So the reason that I continued with Young Living is I've always been a little bit naturally minded. I was raised on the ranch, probably more like Beaver Cleaver or Opie on Andy Griffith than I was people my own age. The fact that I even confidently know those references probably tells you something about me. And my why, I'm very naturally minded. I kind of always have been, but there's only so much that you know, like once you're exposed to something and you know, it's really hard to go back. So up until I had kids, it was, oh yeah, I know what I can eat. I know this, I know that. And then essential oils hit my life. And then it was like a compounding effect, it just got the ball rolling. And then a little, like, I'm trying to say this in a super short thing, but you need to know about me, okay? I'm married to the love of my life, and after we had been married a couple of years, we decided children were probably what we wanted. Actually, it was like 6 months, and I got off birth control, and I was like, we need kids. And it wasn't happening, and it wasn't happening. And here my sister's like spitting out babies. Super long story short, we had infertility. And we ended up doing in vitro for our 2 boys, for our oldest 2 boys. When I was pregnant with Freddie, I had him May of 2018. They discovered a big lump on my throat. And they told me to be prepared and prepare my family and go through everything that I needed to do because it was probably cancer. And no one ever wants to hear that word, okay? That is a huge thing for anyone. So we got second opinion, we did everything. We got the biopsy. Even after the biopsy, they said, you know what? Your lump is huge. It's in the right place. You're having all the right symptoms. We need to remove this. And I was actually scheduled to have my thyroid completely removed. And then they were going to do radioactive iodine to go ahead and kill off any remaining potential cells in my body. And I got a second opinion, and I got lots of tests run, and got like 5 vials of blood taken, and I got a 22-page report on my health based off of this. And the second opinion that I got said, I can't tell, I'm not seeing any cancer myself, but give me 6 months. And she put me on a grain-free, sugar-free diet. And basically it was a over the phone conversation, so she didn't look me in the eye, but she leveled it to me. And I really appreciate straightforward people that can just level it to you. And she did. And she said, look, Jess, you can either continue the way you are and die young, or you can watch your children grow up. That, my kids became my why. And because of that, I really super kicked myself into incredible YL mode, I was tripling my Young Living orders and really concentrating on getting all the stuff out of my house, ditching and switching. And I went completely grain-free, sugar-free. Over the past 18 months, I've lost about 100 pounds, and I got pregnant, and I have a 4-month-old who my husband is trying to take care of right now, along with the other 2 boys. And I feel like you really have to know that story. And again, that's the super condensed version, but you have to understand where I'm coming from. Having experienced the infertility, having experienced the cancer scare, you can't come out from the other side of those things unscathed and without a testimony and without a passion. And that experience has developed this passion in me, and I want to help people, and I want to see other people get the kind of freedom and results that I have. So, having said all of that, let's jump into this. My specific why for Young Living, like I said, is my kids. I want better for them. Not saying that their life isn't good without Young Living. That's crazy talk. I want better for them in the fact that I want to be able to look them in the eye and say, you know what, I knew these things, but I didn't do anything about it. So I continued to purchase the endocrine disrupting products, et cetera, et cetera. There are still things that can happen. I cannot control everything that my kids are exposed to, but I am the gatekeeper of my home. And we spend about 90% of our lives indoors in our homes, and we can control our home environment, okay? And that's where my why is. Our bodies are a temple of the Holy Spirit, and I feel the best way that I can care for my body is to not put the things into it that have the toxic chemicals and the hormone disrupting chemicals and the carcinogens and everything else. And you would be surprised the everyday products that you use that contain these ingredients. And the other thing is, I'm not like some kind of an eco warrior. Like, I would not classify myself like that at all. But it's a trending thing, and it's something that I think is valuable. Like, I'm not necessarily going to give up every plastic straw ever. It's not like I'm going to refuse to go to a restaurant because I have a plastic straw. Again, that's just not who I am. But if I can reduce my waste by using a product that I can dilute times 3 and still have it work fantastically, I'm going to get 3 servings, 3 bottles of hand soap out of 1 bottle, and only have to use 1 plastic bottle. Okay, reducing my footprint and all of that. As far as the business side of things, my why on that, I can work from home. I can take care of my boys. I can do whatever I need on my schedule. And I love that, because I just felt like, again, I was raised by a stay-at-home mom. My dad was in and out of the house all day long. His job was one that we could actually go with him. And so for me, it was the way I grew up. To have to leave my kids was so, I just didn't feel good about it. So to be able to work from home and be blessed to be able to do that is amazing to me. So getting into the meat of the class, what are essential oils? They are the most powerful part of the plant. They're the part whenever you crush like a leaf or you open up a stem of a plant. It's the liquid. It's the blood of the plant. It actually controls, plants have immune systems and hormones and everything else, and it actually controls that part of the plant. Essential oils are distilled from trees, shrubs, roots, bushes, resins, rinds, etc., depending on which type of essential oil that you're going to be using. Essential oils come from over 100 different chemical compounds that enact change. They are made up of over 100 different chemical compounds that enact change within a plant. And so basically, they do for us what their function is within the plant structure. And that is amazing. God created us to thrive best whenever we have like the 5 servings of fruits and vegetables and all of that thing. And there's a reason for that. And that's what the essential oils are. It's the compounded, it's the distilled, super concentrated good stuff you get out of your fruits and vegetables and stuff. Why should you care? Why should you care about all of this? The oils can support every system in the body. You've got your respiratory system, your immune system, because we're all surrounded by yuck. Your skeletal system, muscular system. It can promote brain health. So it's great for emotions. Essential oils are often used, powerful tool for emotions. Diffusing can completely set the mood in your home. Your kids have a long day at school. Diffusing can completely create a calm environment for them. If you've had a hard day at work, you can come home and you can diffuse, and it really does affect your mood and your mindset whenever you have that positive influence and that emotional support of essential oils. Essential oils are used as an alternative for toxic chemicals in your home. Specifically, I love the Thieves line. It can be used to switch out pretty much every cleaning agent in your home. Every toxic cleaning agent in your home can pretty much be switched out for Thieves. It's amazing. And with this tool, you can live a pure lifestyle without breaking the bank. And you look at me and you go, essential oils are expensive, girl. Like, I don't know how you can say they won't break the bank. Most of them are super concentrated. I think it's 14 ounce, whatever. The bottle is about this big. And it's $22 for cleaning. And you go, oh wow, I'd never pay $22 for a bottle of cleaner. But it's a super concentrate, and there's even dilution ratios on the back of it. And for 1 bottle of cleaning that you would make, you get a spray bottle. It's 1 cap of Thieves cleaner, and the rest is water. And sometimes I'll add like some other essential oils or something just to suit my fancy. But you get approximately 22 bottles out of that $22. So your cleaning products end up being like $1 a bottle, and it's safe. And your kids, you don't have to worry about the gunk being left behind. You don't have to worry about your neon blue dish soap that's leaving behind chemical residue that then your family is eating off of. There's just a peace of mind there, knowing I have a perfect child, and then I have a wild card. And my wild card, like, he was sucking on a spray bottle the other day. Luckily, it was Thieves, but had it been 409 or something like that, I would have been calling poison control. We would have probably made a trip to the ER, because that stuff can damage you. And so for my personal home, I'm glad that I have chemicals like that I have these cleaners that I don't have to worry about. So a little history on essential oils. They're first mentioned in Genesis. The very first of Genesis, it talks about the aromatic plants. They're specifically mentioned in chapter 37 of Genesis, and the slave traders who traded for Joseph, part of their caravan was they were trading, they were caravanning with myrrh oil. And it brings it all the way back from the beginning of the Bible to the end. In Revelation 22:2 talks about the leaves and the plants will be used for the nations. And that is actually referring to the way they use it biblically, essential oils. They're mentioned in 70% of the books of the Bible and 1,100 times in Scripture. The Babylonians, who are the oldest civilization known to man, they have found archaeological records of them ordering cedar wood, myrrh, and cypress oils. The ancient Greeks believed that Elysia, which was basically their heaven, that the air was permanently filled with essential oils. This shows how valuable it was to these cultures if heaven itself was made of these oils. Ancient Egypt had the oldest recipe for deodorant, and it was essential oil based. The first deodorants were essential oil based, okay? They used essential oils for beauty and embalming. In Pakistan, they were used in bathhouses. Egypt got their oils, a lot of them, from China and India, and there has been uncovered evidence that for the use of essential oils in those countries for like 1,000 years before the pharaohs even started ruling in Egypt. And I am a huge history buff, and knowing all of these things and it really puts it in perspective, and it's really awesome because the longevity of this tells me that there's something to it. It wouldn't have stuck around if it wasn't valuable. So essential oils were brought west by the Silk Road and by Crusaders, who then brought them further into Europe. Jesus used essential oils, frankincense and myrrh. I mean, these were valuable things. And frankincense is known as the coconut oil of oils because it's got like 10,000 uses. And that's one of the neat things about essential oils is you can go to these places, you can have this miraculous, like spiritual type experience if you go to Israel and you stand where Jesus stood, and you go to the Garden of Gethsemane and you see where he prayed, and you realize that it's a very small area. It's not like Central Park. It's not like anything. It's this little place, and you get this moment of awe. You can get that with essential oils too, because you're smelling the smells that Jesus smelled. You're able to connect in that way, and that's really awesome. Sorry, I'm got a little thing in my throat here. So, do essential oils work? And the answer is yes. But I have to put a caveat on here, okay? And this is where we get into the real education and the meat of essential oils and what they are and how they work and what they do, okay? In the United States, there is no rating system for essential oils, okay? The closest thing that we have is an FDA regulation that says 10% of the oil in any given bottle has to be therapeutic grade in order to label the entire bottle as being therapeutic grade. And this can be super frustrating because you're the consumer, you're the average consumer, you haven't gone to some essential oil classes, you don't know some crazy woman like me who's like passionate about teaching. You're just trying to do the best for your family, right? You're looking at labels and there's nothing to tell you. The only thing you can go off of is, well, it says therapeutic grade essential oils, but what you don't know is it's only 10% therapeutic grade essential oils. The rest is carrier oil or any other thing that's not regulated. And that's why I have to put this caveat on there. It's not because I'm saying Young Living is the best and you have to use Young Living. It's because you need to know where your products are coming from and what they are and the history of it and how it's distilled. And if you can't tell me those things about a product, please do not get them. Okay? I watched a commercial the other day, and it was for one of those Dole, like the fruit cups, you know, and it showed the lady poking holes in the top of her fruit cup and drinking it. And the woman beside her was like appalled, and she was like, "You're drinking the juice?" And she was like, "Well, yeah, I'm drinking juice." And she was like, "Well, why would you drink the juice? Like, that's crazy." And she was like, "Because it's 100% pure fruit juice." And the lady looks at her own, and is like, "Well, mine says made with 100% fruit juice." And they were like, there was a fish tank behind them or something. And she said, "Would you rather drink 100% water or a product made with 100% water?" You see the difference here? And when I saw that commercial, I was like, that's it. That is exactly it. And if we're going to go to that much lengths to make sure we're drinking the packaging water, the fruit juice from our fruit cups, how much more for our essential oils? So you have to ask yourself, what is your end goal for using essential oils? For me, I want to get all the chemicals and the yuck out of my house. I want to live a chemical-free, toxin-free lifestyle with less toxins in my life. I want to kick them to the curb. And it matters if I have that goal in my life. It matters what kind of oils I'm using, because some of the extraction methods used, some of the tools for creating essential oils do things that actually make them no longer that non-toxic product that I'm after. So we have specific grades of oils. We have A, B, C, and D, okay? A is therapeutic grade essential oils. That is the cream of the crop, tippy top. That is the Young Living oils, okay? They're therapeutic grade, organic. They're distilled at low temperatures. And that low temperature is super key. Like, it matters. For example, like cypress oil, okay? If it's distilled at the perfect temperature, harvested with meticulously and done exactly like it's supposed to be, it's got 288 medicinal and therapeutic values to it. That's amazing. Cypress oil is a fantastic oil. If it is distilled 10 degrees too high or 10 degrees too low, the qualities and the properties of that oil go from 288 to 11. And if it's sold as just cypress oil, you have cypress oil and then you have cypress oil. There's a difference. It matters. Young Living specifically has the seed to seal guarantee, the seed to seal promise. And there are examples of them not using land because it had crops grown on it in the past, and they can't guarantee that there were not pesticides, herbicides, insecticides, or fertilizers used on it. And if they cannot guarantee that it is a pure ground and has not been adulterated, messed with, used by chemicals in X number of years, they won't even plant or grow there. And so, I mean, that's a big deal. It starts with the soil, and then they get pure seeds, and then they tend the ground meticulously. And whenever it's time for harvest, they have scientists who work and farmers around the clock, and they take samples and do microdistillations every 2 hours, and they wait, and they're nope, not ready. You've seen this on a commercial too for like green beans or something, you know. Not ready, okay? And every 2 hours, they do samples and they do microdistillations to make sure that the product that you're getting has the best qualities and properties that it possibly can. And after they do all of that, they distill it, you know, with the low temperatures, and they really pay attention to what it is that's happening to your oils. And then it goes through third-party testing. And one of the reasons that I stress the Young Living and not some small organization is because Young Living is the leader in essential oils for a reason. It takes a lot to make these, and they have the ability to toss an entire harvest if it's not right, and they will, which they're not dependent upon this harvest happening or not being able to pay back their business loan. And so that is really important from a business type point of view to understand. The next grade of oils is food grade. These often contain synthetics, pesticides, fertilizers, chemical extenders, and all of that. And the reason that's a big deal is I know that not everybody can eat organic all the time. We don't all the time. I try, but I live in Bartlesville, Oklahoma, and I don't always get to some places. Walmart's doing better, but it is what it is, right? But you eat an apple that's not organic. You're getting an apple that was sprayed with pesticide, right? It's not ideal. Wash it off. You can take measures to try to make sure that it's clean, but it's an apple, okay? You take an entire field of product that has been sprayed with pesticides, sprayed with insecticides, and then has had fertilizers and everything used on it, and you distill that and you super condense it down into just the medicinal and therapeutic properties on that, then you are super condensing the entire pesticide and chemical load of that field into your oils. And then your whole reason that we talked about for why we're using them is just washed away, because those chemicals that you're trying to get out of your home are the very ones that you're using in your oils. And it's frustrating because that's not what you signed up for. Perfume oils, that's number C, letter C. These are adulterated chemicals. They're used, they're solvents, which is like hexane, which is alcohol. Solvents are often used in these so that they can yield a higher amount of oil out of each harvest. These solvents are almost always carcinogens. Okay, just stay away from them. If an oil smells like alcohol, it's probably because it was used as a distillant. It was used to help eke a little more product out of the plant. And it's funny to me, I've seen examples of people wellness-minded families who eat grass-fed, local-grown, hormone-free beef. They pay with the tears of elves to get this stuff, right? They get whole milk from a dairy. They buy their eggs from the farmer lady down the street, all of this stuff. And they are willing to pay for it because they understand the quality difference. But they will buy a $4 oil off of the grocery store shelf and not see the difference in that. The huge example of that is rose oil. Okay, if you find a cheap rose oil, what are they doing? What is it fake? Is it a fake rose oil? Is it only 10% rose oil and the rest who knows what? Because it takes 60,000 rosebuds to make a single ounce of rose oil. And if you find that cheap, you're not getting rose oil. It's frankincense. Frankincense is a very laborious oil to harvest. It's only grown in specific regions. It is a gnarly, nasty tree, and you've got to tap it like you would to get like maple syrup, and it takes like 40 gallons of maple syrup to make like a gallon of maple syrup because they have to condense it and stuff. And it's kind of the same way with frankincense, except for instead of turning into sticky syrup, it turns into a resin, into a hard, you can chew it and it kind of gets like gum a little bit, but it's almost like plastic. And they actually have to scrape it off of the trees. And then the distillation process takes like 3 days, okay? If you get a bottle of frankincense for $12, for $40, I would ask, what's in it? Because I would seriously question it. Because now you know, okay? The last grade is floral water. This is the off product. This is what remains after a distillation, okay? So why am I telling you all this? Why should you care? And it goes back to your why. Why would you be using essential oils, okay? You want to make sure that the chemicals, that the products you're using are safe for your family. And that's why I'm doing this class, is I want people to understand what's safe for their families, okay? And how can some oil companies sell them so cheap? We already talked about this. They've saved money. And they've saved money, and so they're passing that savings on to you. And the way they do it is they spray their crops, they use solvents, and they dilute their products. The price of the oil is based on what it takes to produce the oil. And again, I used the rosebud example already, but here's just some examples. 60,000 rosebuds to make 1 ounce of rose oil. 220 pounds of lavender makes 7 pounds of lavender oil. Jasmine, which is the most expensive essential oil on the planet, jasmine flowers are picked by hand before sunrise of the very first bloom. It sounds like there should be like pixies and monks, but that's not part of it. And it takes, get this, 8 million hand-picked blossoms to produce 2.2 pounds of oil. That's crazy. That's why jasmine is the most expensive oil. And I have yet to buy a bottle of jasmine, but it's on my list. I really want a bottle of jasmine. A sandalwood tree has to have certain parameters before it can be used, and it has to be 30 years old and be at least 30 foot tall before it can be harvested to make essential oils out of. They're very valuable. They're very They're very valuable, but the good thing is they go a long ways. A serving for essential oils is 1 to 3 drops. In a 5 ml bottle, you're going to have about 100 drops. And in a 15 ml bottle, you're going to have about 300 drops. And so, depending on how you use it, it really can last a long time. So, essential oils work. I'm trying to make this quick, guys. I'm sorry. And I hear my kids crying in the background. Poor Cameron. Specifically, I'm just going to deal with the aromatic here. But the oil molecules, which are smaller than virus molecules, they travel up the nose where they're trapped by the olfactory membranes. And each specific smell has its own receptor site. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of this, but if you've ever studied like the chemistry of smell and the way that it works and the synapses and the way that it crosses the membranes and all of that, it is fascinating. Homework, go look that up. And from there, it goes and it triggers the limbic part of the brain. And the limbic part of the brain is directly connected to your emotions, your behavior, your long-term memory, all of that. And so because this limbic system controls so much of your body, just with the power of smell alone, it has the power to do amazing things for your body. A lot of people ask me, are essential oils safe? And again, caveat back, we've already talked about that. Fast forward here, are essential oils safe? Absolutely, they're safe. There are a few things you need to know though. Some oils, specifically citrus oils off the top of my head, are photosensitive, which means they photosynthesize. That's their job within the plant structure. So you wouldn't want to put like a bunch of orange or a bunch of lemon on you and then go outside, okay? So they're in a hot summer day or something. It could promote a burn in your body. It could help you get a sunburn and you might blister. Personally, I've never had that happen, but I don't have super sensitive skin or anything. But especially if you have sensitive skin, dilute. Use a carrier oil like coconut oil, olive oil, V6, something, or just don't use the citrus oil before you go outside. Some of the oils, peppermint, clove, things like that can be hot. By hot, it's not going to burn you, but it has a hot sensation. It has a burning sensation. And those you would definitely need to dilute, especially if using with children. One of the things that you can do and you should do is test your oils for sensitivity. Before just slathering it all over your whole body, find a small spot and see how you react to it. Because depending on your environment, depending on what you've been exposed to, etc., because oils by nature are a detoxing type structure. Depending on what you've been exposed to, you might not react super great to it, okay? So dilute it with some carrier oil and just put it in an inconspicuous place, see how it looks, all right, and then use it. Another way to try is just to smell it, take the lid off of it and smell it, and see what it is. This is Stress Away, it's my favorite, I love it. And see how you react to it right then. And the thing is with dilution, okay? So you get this bottle. I keep saying dilution's bad on one hand, and then I'm telling you to dilute. The difference is you know what you're diluting with. I buy organic cold pressed coconut oil, you know? I buy Young Living's V6 oil. I know what it is I'm getting. And there's two different types of oils. There's essential oils, which have a super small molecular structure. They're smaller than viruses. And then you have carrier oils, which is your fatty oils, and they have large molecular structures. So it basically creates a membrane. It creates a barrier. So like even with this chair, say this is my skin, okay? And then we're gonna have a level of carrier oil above it. And within this level here, we have all these big structures of the fats, okay? And then we have all these tiny little pin pokes that are the essential oils. What it's doing is it's ping-ponging off of the big molecules, and instead of just down into my skin, it's going to find its way down into my skin. So it doesn't dilute the effectiveness of the oil. It slows the absorption rate so that you get it into your body slower, which is why you slow it, you dilute with like children especially, so that it doesn't overwhelm their body all at once. And with eyes, so another caution is if you get an essential oil in your eye, do not do like you would normally think to do and wash it with water. Water and oil do not mix. If you put water in your eye and you have essential oils in your eye, it will just whoosh, and it will spread it everywhere. Take a little bit of coconut oil or some type of carrier oil and rub it on your eye and get it into the corner of your eye, like actually in your eye, and it will draw the oil to itself and it will get the oil out of your eye. That's basically the class. That is the meat of the class. You have survived it. It wasn't too hard. What I want you to do, I have some homework for you, okay? I'm going to issue you a challenge. And then I want you to comment on my Facebook page or message me, do something and tell me what you find out, okay? I'm going to issue you the 3 cabinet challenge. I want you to leave this class when we're done and go to 3 cabinets in your home. And I want you to read the labels on the products in these cabinets. And if you don't know what some of the ingredients are, I want you to look them up. And I want you to see what it is that you're continually exposing yourself to. And I have done that, and it was super convicting. I was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. You know, they don't tell you these things. Sorry, I've been talking a long time. The average woman is exposed to 300 chemicals in her home daily. About 90 of these are before breakfast, from 4 main areas: soap, makeup, shampoo, hair care. A lot of these chemicals are carcinogens. And the unfortunate statistic is 1 in 3 women in the United States and 1 in 5 men will have cancer in their lifetime. That is a statistic that I am not okay with. That is a statistic. I was almost that statistic, okay? I was not diagnosed with cancer, but for about 2 months, we thought I had cancer, and I lived through that, and that was very difficult. And that is a statistic I'm not okay with for anyone. I'm not okay with that for my children. I'm not okay with that for my friends, for my nieces and nephews. And I'm very grateful that my siblings, my entire family, like we have 4 generations of oilers in my family. Like if I wasn't a crazy oil lady, there'd be something wrong with me coming from my family, okay? It's something that needs to be addressed. And I'm not okay with it for my children. I go back to my why, you know? So what, I've told you all these things, I've done everything. How do you get essential oils in your home? Like, what's the first step? And there are a couple of different ways, but the way that I recommend is the Premium Starter Kit. It's based off of the most purchased, the most heavily used oils in all of the Young Living product line. It's the only thing on the entire website that's about 50% off. And it's awesome. There are, it retails, you purchase this kit and it's $165. And the value that you get in this is amazing. I've actually put a pencil to it myself, and it is $410 worth of product that you get. You get a frankincense in this, okay? A frankincense and a diffuser. And this is $410 worth of product and your membership, a wholesale membership, so that you can get any future product purchases for 24% off for $165. The oils that come in it are frankincense, and it's great for your skin. It's a super grounding, spiritually grounding oil. Lavender, it's calming and soothing. Pardon me. I've been talking way too long. It helps with focus. You get peppermint, which is great for your gastrointestinal support. Your bowels love peppermint. Purification eliminates odors, and it is my personal favorite. I use it as my perfume almost daily. Thieves is fantastic for the respiratory and the immune system. Stress Away is great for overall wellness, and it is a fantastic emotional oil. I'm diffusing Stress Away and peppermint actually right now, and it's like vanilla mint. It's awesome. It's fantastic. Lemon is, I call it Gunk Gone. I can pretty much remove any sticky mystery residue with a single drop of lemon, and it is fantastic. It's also great immune support, and I currently have lemon in my water. Great segue to get my drink there. Panaway also comes in the kit, and it is soothing for your muscles. It may help support you after like a workout or something. Copaiba, I'm actually wearing Copaiba right now. It pretty much supports all of your systems, all of your body systems. It's fantastic for overall wellness, and it is actually it's only made by Young Living. Diguise or Digise, depending on who you are and how you want to say it, is another great digestive support if you're going to be out of the country or trying new foods, or say it's Thanksgiving and you know you're going to eat too much. Just always keep Digise in your pocket because it's awesome. The last one is one of my favorites. It is RC, and that is respiratory control, respiratory comfort. And as it says, it's great for your respiratory system. It's got a lot of eucalyptol in it with the different eucalyptus oils. I use it in the shower whenever I'm starting to feel a little bit under the weather. So how you would get your kit, if you're interested in starting, which I know you are, and you're going to leave here and go to your 3 cabinet challenge and then be like, man, I need myself a kit. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to youngliving.com, and there is going to be a become a member up. I think it's in the right-hand corner. You'll click on that button and you will follow the instructions on how to get a kit. If it asks you if you want to join Essential Rewards, I forgot to mention Essential Rewards throughout this thing. It's a fantastic program. I call it my monthly wellness box, and it's not an auto ship program because it's completely different than any other what you would think of as auto ship. But you place your order every month and you get rewarded for it, up to 25% back. And right now, every single order that I place, I get 25% of that back in free product, points for free product. So that's awesome. So that's the Essential Rewards program. So yes, you want that. So then you scroll down, you fill out all the questions, you order the kit. If it asks for a member number, either use the member number of the downline that sent you to this and ask them for their member number, or you can use mine. Mine is 1985526, and you pop that in both the enroller and the sponsor boxes. And that's it. That's it. You have survived my class. And I hope that you guys learned so much. I hope that you'll join me again for another class soon. And I hope that you get yourself a kit and be excited about it. And welcome to a toxin-free life with me. I am super stoked that you guys made it all the way through. So congratulations, you're now an oily. And that is my whole class. So thank you to everyone who made it through. And we'll talk to you later. Bye.